Kamlesh was a young boy and it was 2 p.m. and he had finished his lunch and he was sitting there and he felt a huge urge. And then there was this war inside his mind whether I should do it or not do it. And he was debating it inside. He knew he shouldn't do it. And suddenly, while he was debating, he did it. And so when he did it, he sat there in shame and regret and feeling like very, very badly because he knew he had done something wrong. And he knew that it was November and he failed November on the first day. And so what he said to himself was, well, I did relapse today and it's day zero anyways. So I might as well use day zero, right? So he fapped 3 times again. If you're addicted to fapping, you can really relate to this because whenever you relapse, you get that post-nut clarity. And generally it is supposed to be bliss, but it's not exactly bliss because you get these negative emotions and a lot of negative thoughts in your mind. And what happens is we tend to feel really bad about ourselves. We feel we are like a loser. We feel like shit. And generally the thought process is that why did I do it? I mean, you had watched a No-fap video before, you had seen advice on it before, and yet you still did it. And we always have this sense of like, what should I do? There is no advice, and you can relate to this. It was for me as well. I couldn't find any advice that actually worked, honestly. All the advice was to just put on these blockers or download this app or just do push-ups, bro. I never did push-ups. So it never actually worked for me. And I scoured the internet for answers, but I couldn't find anything. And like society has normalized fapping. They say that it is normal and it is healthy. And my honest reaction is to just... And so I went through a year of trials and tribulations trying to find out what actually works. And I found out this 3-step thing that I actually did in order, and somehow it worked. I mean, I went from fapping every single day to fapping never. Imagine you can have this. Imagine you actually tell people that no, I'm not fap for over a year. You know how good that will feel. You know how much energy you will have. You know the benefits of not fapping. So I'm not going to tell you like, oh, it gives you more energy, bro. You know it and you're going to have it. So this is the 3-step formula that you need to use. So first step is to educate yourself on dopamine. Now, most likely you have an idea of what dopamine is, right? But in case you don't, I have made a video on this dopamine thing itself. I like really compacted a 2-hour podcast into 5 minutes. So you can go on my channel and watch that. But in short, you understand the basic concepts of dopamine. If you don't, go watch it and come back to it right now. Step 2 of this process is to change your mindset. See, these no-fap YouTubers and all these gurus have like made you brainwashed into thinking that having streaks is nice. The no-fap timeline videos, right? You've seen it. 90 days and you can levitate. And this is such a negative thing to believe in. Streaks are bad. And I'll tell you why. What are streaks? This is the number of days you don't fap. But think about it. I'm going to ask you this question, okay? Are you never going to relapse in your life? Be honest. Is it that you're going to never ever relapse in your life? No, right? It's unrealistic. In your entire life, you're obviously going to relapse. And so what this streaks does is it keeps this kind of streak, like 90-day streak, and then you relapse and it's day zero. And you feel like shit because you feel you've lost progress, but you've not lost any progress. You just had a little bit of a setback, but it seems so huge that it is very, very negative to be in. So number 1, forget about streaks. They are a big no. Forget about them. No one cares about your streak. It is not something to brag about. The second thing is to understand progressive deload. Now, if you are into the gym or into weightlifting, you understand progressive overload, right? In the same way, we need to progressively deload the amount of times you fap. See, I'm not going to give you a step-by-step process to just stop fapping. Like after this video, it's not that you're never going to fap. It's a very, very long and tedious process to get rid of this addiction, and it will take you some time. So what you need to do is progressively deload the amount of times you fap. So let's say in a month, you fap 25 times. The next goal for the next month should be to fap only 21 times, then maybe 18 times, then the next month 16, 15. You see, you have to progressively reduce the amount of time you fap because you don't have the willpower to actually just stop fapping. I'll be honest, someone has to say this truthfully. You are not used to not fapping. You have to build that willpower up, and that will come through progressive deload. And so now, by this time, you should be knowing how dopamine works and why you're addicted to fapping essentially. Number 2 that you need to understand is that you need to forget about streaks and focus on progressive deload. The third thing, and this is a very, very important thing, is to go and touch some grass. You have heard about the Pavlov's dog experiment in school as well, that Pavlov, the scientist, had like a bell, and so he trained his dog to the point that when he rung his bell and he had no food, the dog started salivating. You are that dog. Whenever you sit down in your chair, your brain has automatically associated that chair with fapping. So whenever you are in that room or on that desk, you get the thoughts of fapping, don't you? Your mind has built pathways in such way that the place now is associated with fapping. So we need to break that, and that will not just happen overnight. You have to go through months and months of progressive deload, and that is why I'm saying go out more. Let your brain see other things other than fapping and other than the screen. Go out in the nature, go out, look at the trees, look at the animals. Your brain will then start to feel happy by going out. So you will go out more and be more happy. You need to break the chain that your mind has already built over years and years of fapping. And so if you apply these 3 steps, let's recap it once before you go. Number 1, educate yourself on dopamine. I've made a video as well. Number 2, forget about streaks. Focus on progressive deload. Number 3, go outside more. And I'm sure after a few months, maybe once you stop fapping, comment down below how you did it, how was your experience, so that other guys also get influenced and motivated by it. If you like this video, scroll down and subscribe. Don't sacrifice your future self for the pleasure today. Peace.